Hello guys, welcome back. In this class we're going to talk about URLs. In the previous classes we had a quick look over URLs. We defined few very simple URLs, but in this class we are going to talk a little more deeper, okay? If we have a look here into this diagram, the URL is one of the first things that happens as soon as the request comes in. So Django has its own URL resolution mechanism. Basically, it will look for the correspondent URL into your URL file that will correspond to the to the URL coming to the request. Okay, the URLs is one of the most important changes in my opinion in Django 2.0, because back in past Django was using regex for URLs, so it was much more complex to define URLs the way that you want, and it sometimes make beginners or people that was starting working with Django made them give up, because regex is not that simple to understand. It takes a while for you to get to use it to the reject syntax and mechanisms, but now it's much simpler. Okay, so Django will handle that for you in a much simpler way. Now, for to define one more complex URL, you just need to say what type of parameter you are expecting and what's the name of the parameter that you want to pass to the view. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. uh, let's try all of them here from the Django documentation. If we go here to our URLs file and we put here this articles 2013, it will call one view called special case 2013. So let's import that, and then let's define that inside the views file. Okay, so if we do like this and do a return, for this case a HTTP response will be enough. So I will put here like returning the cases for 2003. Okay, just a simple example, because the views here is not important. Important for us is the the URL declaration. Okay, so if we access this URL into our project, let's do a Control C, and then I think I will need to, yeah, the server restarted automatically. And then instead of test, I will do articles 2003. So that's one way to declare your URLs. I want the articles from 2003. I could go to the database, get all the articles from this specific date, and return as a response. Okay, so that's the first way to do, but it's not very nice. Otherwise, you will end up with tons of URLs like this for every single year. Okay, so that's not the way that we want to do. We want that a little bit more dynamic. I will keep that for studios purpose. I will duplicate that with Command D on Mac or Control D on Windows and Linux. So sorry. Um, the way to declare that more dynamically, you need to say what kind of parameter you are expecting and what's the name that you want for that. So if you do like int and year, okay, here I would change because for me doesn't matter, I have the 2003 in the beginning, and as well I will copy and paste just to save time. Okay, and I will replace the name. So every time someone typing the URL is any number, doesn't matter if it is 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7, it will trigger this URL because it matches with the request that we are sending to Django. So the URL resolution will say, okay, we have one compatible request for this path. Okay, so I will go to this path, I will match up this URL to check it out, and then I will trigger this function. Okay, that's the way that it will go, that will it will work. So I will change here just for us to see that it is working. So returning articles from. How can we know what's the year that the user typed to show it in this way? That's the trick. Here, after request, Django will give me automatically one variable called year that comes from the URLs. So it will get the value if it is integer, and will pass to the view one variable called year. So, okay, so I will import this special case function here, and we are good to go. Let's change that for 2004. Look, we got the correct response, but we didn't render the value here because we need to do like this. Year. Okay, now it will render the year instead of the percentage sign s. Okay, look, 2004, 2005, 2007. Okay, so let's do a quick difference. I'll put double column here. Okay, so we see where we are, because if I type 2003, the even if the 2003 fits into this URL mechanism, Django will return the first one that matches. Once it is in the top of the URLs, Django will match up with this one, and then it will stop looking for. So that's why the special case 2003 will be triggered instead of a special case, because Django will evaluate first this one, and then this and this and this and this in this order. Okay, if we move that to below this to the special cases, and we return the page, look, the Django returned to another function, the another view. Okay, because this way to do the URLs matches okay with our special case function. So we should be aware that there is an order that Django will evaluate all the URLs. Okay, so that's one important thing to mention. Let's go ahead, and in this case, Django will receive two different arguments. Okay, two different arguments. You can have as many as you want, as many arguments as you want. In this case, I'm going to receive the year and month. So I will import this function here inside the views to save time. Let's copy that and call, how is that called, a month archive. Month archive instead of just year, as well month. Okay, so returning articles from year %s and month %f. Okay, and then here we need to pass both year and month. Okay, let's see if it is working. We need to pass like this and like that. Okay, so we went from 2018 and January. Okay, so here we go. So returning articles from year 2018. We have one extra zero right here. It's not very important actually, but from the year 2018 and month number 1. Okay guys, so it's very easy to organize your project by the URLs. And then you can have as well one slug if you want, but it's like the same thing. You can have as many parameters as you want, but let's assume that we want to, instead of just an integer, let's try the same with an one one string, just to have as an example. So if I will create here the hello function, this function will say hello to the user. So I'll receive the name, okay, and here we'll put hello %s and name. Okay, that's it. Right here, let's import the hello function, and I will duplicate this one. I'll call that hello. Instead of integer, we need to receive one string. Okay, so I'll call that name, and I'll call the function hello, and that's it. So Django will, as soon as it gets the response, we evaluate the URL. We see that we are trying to access the hello URL. It will expect a name. The format is string, and will trigger the function hello. Let's see if it's working. Hello, and you put a name, so it will say hello world Gregory. Okay, easy peasy. That's the way to receive as well strings. Okay guys, so you can, if you want, you can go to the Django URL space, and you can have more like a deeper look into this documentation to, to have more information about that, to have more examples and so on and so forth. But it's pretty much this, that's the most important part that you need to learn. Okay, in the future we are going to start working on our application, and for sure we are going to write down more URLs and more complex URLs, so you don't need to worry about that. But for sure I would recommend you to have a quick look into this documentation. Okay, so that's it for this class, guys. I hope you have implemented that in your machine. I hope that's everything working fine, but if not, for sure you can post it here down below, that I'm going to help you. Okay, I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.